just keep telling yourself, we made it to 500, we're still in the race, things are, I can't even do it. Things are not okay. This is KD Drummond of bloggingtheboys.com. And after that 23-20 overtime victory by the Cowboys over the Cleveland Browns, I would love to get on here and tell you about how great things are and how much I think, about the Cowboys' chances moving forward. And although there is obviously still mathematical stuff involved and the Cowboys are in a perfect position to make a run down the stretch, right now the team has so many deficiencies, mainly on the offensive line and in the injury department, that it's just tough to really get excited about the team's fifth win of the season. We came into the game in a bad position. Phil Costa is still out. Ryan Cook, our backup center, he missed practice all week. He was out. So we had to put our right guard, Mackenzie Bernardow, in at center and start Derek Dockery, who I have absolutely no idea why he's even still in the NFL at the moment. So that right there told you that things were going to be off to a bad start, and sure enough, they came to fruition. Dallas had struggles immediately from the break. They took the opening kickoff, and while they didn't have offensive line failures on the first drive, in totality, there were signs that actually started to get worse as the game went on. You saw that Cleveland was able to get pressure on Romo. He was sacked 7 times for the game. That's the most for the 2012 season. It included a strip sack late in the game at a crucial situation. Dallas did not have time to get the receivers out in routes. Cleveland was without their star cornerback Joe Hayden. Early in the game, Dallas couldn't do anything to try to take advantage of that because there was no time. And even on the rare occasion where there was time, Romo was just inconsistently inaccurate. And it was a pretty frustrating thing to watch Cleveland take a 13-0 lead going into halftime. Dallas only had 68 yards of total offense going into the break, which was their worst total in 5 years. 5 years, folks. That's like the entire Jason Garrett era. Well, not entire, but almost. I believe he's been here for 6 years now. But regardless, that's just a pathetic performance, and it's something that Dallas can't do and expect to win. The offensive line is a mess. We lost Tyron Smith, last year's first-round pick, to a high ankle sprain through the first half of the game. He didn't return. That brought in Jeremy Parnell, who is our only reserve tackle on the team. We only have 3. The other one is Doug Free. Could you really even put Doug Free at left tackle? That shows you the state of the Cowboys' offensive line, is that Doug Free, who used to play left tackle, wasn't even moved over to protect Tony Romo's blind side. They would rather just keep him at right tackle and put Parnell in. It was just kind of an ugly first half. Dallas really didn't do anything to make you believe that this was a team that was going to capitalize on momentum that they earned in the victory over the Eagles when they had 3 return scores that helped boost their performance of the offense. Fortunately, though, the second half came and Dallas did make some turnarounds. Cleveland got the ball first, and after letting them get 3 first downs, they did force a punt. Dallas was able to kind of get some things going, including what should have been, I thought, a touchdown to Dez Bryant. He made a catch on the left sideline. He was getting gang tackled. He actually broke free and would have been able to race down the sidelines, but the referees blew the whistle, blew the play dead for stopping the forward progress. And you can kind of see where they were going with it, but it's Dez Bryant, and although he made a play earlier in the game where he didn't fight for a first down, where you thought he should have on a third down pass to the left sideline, it appeared that he still had the ability to continue driving down the field. Regardless, they got a field goal on that. They were able to stop Cleveland on the next play, on the next drive for a third down. And then the Dallas offense really took over. They were able to get some time for Tony Romo, and he was actually able to complete some things downfield. Jason Witten was getting his 7 yards a catch average, and I don't know what's going on, but that's pretty much what Jason Witten is right now. He's basically an extended run play because he's averaged 7 yards a catch for like the last 3 or 4 games. But they were able to get Dez Bryant open in the second half against Buster Screen and Sheldon Brown. The Cleveland defensive secondary was constantly holding them. They were constantly interfering with the routes. Dallas actually got 10 first downs due to Cleveland defensive penalties, which has to be close to some sort of record. And it wasn't as if they were mental errors. It was Dallas earning them because they were clearly out-talenting the Cleveland secondary, and these were penalties that were made in order to keep big plays from happening. There's a contrast between those type of penalties and the type of penalties that Dallas will often get, which are mental mistakes, offsides, false starts, motion penalties, things of that sort that kind of really irritate you. These are penalties that were made because they were simply being outclassed. So you love to see that Dallas was actually forcing Cleveland into this, but it was keeping them from getting the big plays. Dez Bryant's second half was tremendous. After Dallas scored on a Felix Jones 2 yards run, Dallas again stopped Cleveland. They got the ball back. Dez caught a 20-something yard, I believe maybe even 30-yard touchdown pass. It was a beautiful throw from Romo to the left sideline. Dez got behind the secondary into the end zone. It was kind of reminiscent to some things that you love to see, but Dez had a beast day. 12 catches, 145 yards on the day, plus that touchdown. Again, if that play earlier wasn't whistled dead, he might have gone for 202 touchdowns, and the whole world would have been screaming about him. It's good to see him be able to produce like this after the week he had, where you learned that the charges will be dropped if he can stay out of trouble for a year, the domestic violence charges for the altercation with his mother. So hopefully he'll have that behind him. We won't have a Roger Goodell suspension coming down the line to further wreck our season. But overall, the main thing from this game was obviously the offensive line. And the issues that it gave Romo. Romo ended up with 313 yards and a touchdown. Third straight game without throwing an interception, but he almost fumbled the game away after Dallas was trying to close out the game, and Anthony Spencer, who's having a remarkable 2012 season. Anthony Spencer and DeMarcus Ware merged on Brandon Weeden, and Spencer knocked the ball free for a forced fumble. Cowboys recovered that. A couple plays later, Romo gets sacked from behind on 6 of 7 sacks for the day, and he costs it up, giving Cleveland the ball back. Cleveland marches downfield. They don't score. Dallas has a goal line stand, 4 downs, but because of timeouts and all that kind of thing, Cleveland got the ball back. There was a bad penalty call where on the punt, John Phillips was called for a horse collar tackle, even though he grabbed Joshua Cribbs by the hair after a horrible punt by Brian Moorman. That put Cleveland in field goal range, scoring range, and then Dallas, they were debating the play, and they didn't have the right personnel on the field. They had to race 2 secondary players onto the field at the last minute, and boom, Cleveland snaps the ball, touchdown pass to Ben Watson. So it looked like the Cowboys, after coming all the way back from 13-0 down to lead 17-13, it looked like they were about to lose the game 20-17, but fortunately the Cowboys were able to drive down the field. Dan Bailey hit the second field goal of the day to tie the game at 20. They go to overtime. Cowboys win the toss. They exchange punts. Dallas finally drives down to get into field goal range. Dan Bailey boots a 38-yarder to win the game for the Cowboys 23-20. Overall, again, it's kind of just like the Eagles game, but with a closer margin. There's plenty of things to dissect about this game. There's some stuff to like. You like the fact that the Cowboys were able to come out after halftime and kind of flip the switch and get things going, but you got to wonder if they'll ever put together a complete game, and they're going to have to, because sitting at 4-6, just one game behind them in the standings, is the Washington Redskins, who beat Philadelphia in their 1 o'clock game. RG3 looked fantastic from the tweets and the updates that I saw going on today. It looks like we're really going to have a dogfight with very little time to prepare. And again, Tyron Smith suffered a high ankle sprain, so our line is going to be in disarray. I don't think that we're going to get back DeMarco Murray or Phil Costa for this game. Kenyon Coleman, who's obviously out for the season, he was missed in the run defense game. Nobody really picked up the slack from there. Dallas had many deficiencies on defense. Rob Ryan didn't want to bring pressure. He seemed to be content with just allowing the defense to kind of go into cover mode on 3rd down, and Cleveland torched us. They tossed it to Trent Richardson, and he was able to make plays throughout the game. I would love to give you kind of a silver lining scenario about this, but I guess the only thing good you can say is that we are 5-5. We are very injured. We hope to be getting a lot of these players back for the stretch run, but you just never know. For now, Dallas sits a game behind the New York Giants for first place in the NFC East, the horrible NFC East, and it is what it is. So this is your recap. KD Drummond of Blogging the Boys. Please make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. I always say YouTube. I don't know what that's about. But our YouTube channel, SBN Blogging the Boys. Don't forget about SBN NFL as well as SB Nation. Again, Cowboys win. They eke out an overtime victory 23-20. Salute.